Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Ji ayanu. Bakhair agle. Ni hao. Chunisumme. Washmale. Ohio Gonzaimes. Guten Morgen. Hola. Bonjour. Privyet. Kaifahal. Hale shuma chatore. Ahlan wasalan. Marhaba. Buna. Mucho. Gracias. Swabiyab. Balli karayan. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning into PTV World. You're watching World This Morning alongside my very amazing co-host, Ms. Shiza Hashmi, and I happen to be Shahzad Ehsan Khan, and we hope and pray that everybody is ready to kickstart their day with us. Shiza, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking. Although, you know what, I do feel great inside, but I feel like the energy will come out eventually because I just had my coffee. So it does take time to kick in. Well, I hope all of you had an amazing weekend as well. But where you called me amazing, I think today the accolades have to go to you. Because if you guys were watching TV, any station for that matter, or internet for that matter, Shahzad Khan, ladies and gentlemen, was the face of KPL, the first ever. Congratulations. We're really, really proud of you.
Wow.
So because I wasn't there, I want you to tell me how it was.
Well, it was wonderful. I mean, first things first, obviously, you know, the Kashmiris, the people of Azad Jammu and Kashmir were so happy that finally, you know, there was this one amazing platform being provided to all of those Kashmiri people who were, you know, out there, and they were waiting for this opportunity.
Yeah.
So imagine that every team was actually supposed to pick up on 5 players from Azad Jammu Kashmir, and 2 were actually supposed to play in every team.
Okay.
So that obviously is a great opportunity. Not just that, I think that the total leadership, the all of the people, you know, from the PTI government and from Azad Jammu Kashmir as well, you know, the newly elected Prime Minister was there, the President AJK was there, Shahryar Khan Afridi Saab was there, which happens to be the chairman on Kashmir Committee, Faisal Javed was there. I mean, you name, everybody was there. Shoaib Akhtar was there, Wasim Akram was there, Shahid Afridi was there, Abdul Razak was
Wow.
there, Shoaib Malik was there, Sohail Tanveer was there.
Now I'm having a major FOMO.
Ahmed Shahzad was there, you know, and the Kashmiris just loved every bit of it. And Masooma Anwar was there, Asrar was
Wow.
there. So, you know, it was a lit evening. Alhamdulillah, we enjoyed it. And, you know, Muzaffarabad Stadium itself is an international stadium where the floodlights have been placed in. And every day there are 2 matches taking place, which you can watch live on PTV Sports and Geo Super for that matter.
Okay.
But I'm glad, I'm thankful to Allah Almighty. And after that, I'm thankful to my parents and Mr. Shoaib Akhtar as well.
Of course.
Because he's the one who actually proposed. He actually grabbed my hand, took me to the KPL team, and was like that, hey, you know what, he's actually going to do the opening ceremony, and
Mashallah.
they kind of complied with that. I'm very thankful. It's a milestone which I've achieved, alhamdulillah, with all your prayers. And the credit truly goes to PTV World as well, because my face is actually visible on PTV World every single day from the last 9 years. So every opportunity I've got, ladies and gentlemen, there's definitely the role of PTV World, and I would love to thank my entire team. You guys have been very supportive.
But
Because
I
on
think
Friday I wasn't here, so you were
Yeah.
covering for me. Hasnan did a great job. Jamshed Saab, even though he's on a course these days, and he's loving his colleagues these days, and posting a lot of pictures.
Mashallah.
But I think that, you know, it was a wonderful experience. The entire team of SRG KPL did a great job. Chaudhry Shahzad Akhtar Saab, not just him, Arif Malik Saab, Taimur Ali Khan Saab, everybody was phenomenal, and I'm thankful to Allah Almighty. Shukr Alhamdulillah.
Well, again, we're really, really happy for you, and I think you're just being modest here, where you're giving all the thanks to other people, but you yourself did create that talent,
Jazakallah.
Shahzad.
Thank you, yaar.
So because I come around across actually a lot of people who, some of them actually have a goal. I mean, they know their path. They know what they're going to do with their lives. The others, like me, are all over the place. They're struggling. And, well, I'm not trying to sound sad or something. I'm just trying to be open so that maybe people like me can relate to me. Because if you see me on screen every day and probably feel like, oh, you know what, she has it all. It's not that. We're all just humans, right? There are days when we don't even know what our own path is.
Yeah,
And
that's
that
true.
confusion is just some other level of something, right? So I think in that case where you did pick a niche and now you're going after it, mashallah, that is a brilliant. But speaking of that, I think, Shahzad, now here's the thing. I feel like when you have to choose a path, when you have to choose a goal, and then to, you know, fix your vision towards it, you have to do it at sort of an early age. Do you agree with me? Maybe school or college for that matter.
Well, yes, I mean, I truly agree. I mean, it's not that, you know, you would actually recognize it as your passion or that's going to be your career path as
You
well.
can't tell at
Yeah,
that time.
but, you know, I was always hosting shows, may it be my school, my college, you know, annual days, annual functions, and I've always been a host as well. And, you know, so even the reality show which I participated, which changed my life forever, you know,
Yeah.
all my interviews in those reality shows have been telling, or if you're going to watch them, you will see that I keep on telling them that, you know, I know that I'm a good host, I know that I'm a good host. So, you know, then entered into radio, coming down to television, alhamdulillah, and then, this is the fourth or fifth channel which I'm working with now,
Yes,
alhamdulillah,
mashallah.
as well. So yeah, so it kind of, you have it, but then not everybody kind of gets lucky to do what you love to do the most as well.
Absolutely.
And then there are days when you really have to wait, then there are days when you feel low, then there are days when you feel down. But then the very day when you feel low, the best thing you're going to do is that you're going to pray to Allah Almighty. You're going to look towards the sky and you'll be like, Allah, Mia, please, this is what I want to do.
Absolutely.
And this is exactly what happens when you do it, when you pray with all the belief and faith, ladies and gentlemen, things will turn out for you as well. And no matter what happens, alhamdulillah, but it does take a little time. So in all of those days when
Exactly.
you're a little low and you're like, okay, what's happening, just make sure that you pray to Allah Almighty and everything going to fall in place.
Yes, that
Inshallah.
is definitely true. And patience, I think, is the key in everything
Yep.
and the answer to everything, and something that, well, thousands of people struggle to find. But yes, now here's the thing. When we said that if you have a goal and you have to chase it, sometimes for some people it does start at an early age.
Yeah.
And for some, some even struggle throughout their life and they can't find it. And it's okay. It's not a right or wrong. It's actually very particular to each and every individual. So it's
Yep.
okay whatever path you choose. Today I'm talking about this because, well, I was impressed to learn about this very group of people.
Foxtrot?
Sorry?
Foxtrot,
Yes,
yeah.
they're called Foxtrot. They're actually a group of students, all younger than me, which is why I'm actually really impressed. They're, mashallah, very smart. They belong to an institute
Ghulam
over
Ishaq
here
Khan
in
Institute, yeah.
Pakistan, which is one of the best in not only Pakistan, but in the entire region. So when we talk about technology, Shazad, this very institute, Ghulam Ishaq Khan Institute, is actually one of the leading ones in terms of new innovations, in terms of new projects going on, and just providing the best facilities to their students. And just recently, we came across this news that this very team, Foxtrots, has actually built up or has actually devised a mechanism to produce and then provide to the masses UAVs.
Yeah.
Now, what UAVs are, Shazad is here to
Unmanned
explain.
air vehicles, ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen, for example, drones where you do
Yeah,
not
in the
have a
simplest
pilot,
term,
where you do not
drones.
have a pilot, and it's going to take off, it's going to land, on a predestined location which has been set up in the GPS. It has failure systems as well, so, and this is where the technology is going.
Yeah.
Imagine not just that, so, the airborne version of Tesla is probably drones as well, and it came into being before Tesla. That too, I think it is very important to mention. But these amazing students and kids, what they're doing is that they're actually trying to bring in technology to Pakistan. They're making these UAVs by themselves and then competing in international competitions where they have to be in a certain time limit, and they have to make sure that this 10 kg load they're going to take somewhere as well, and that too within that whatever time frame which has been given to them. And it's not that once the quadcopter is actually going to take off that you will still be operating it. So it will have a predestined location. You set it up and then you just probably just press the button, go. And that's what the UAV is actually supposed to do. They have won in 2021. They have won 2 awards to themselves. In
Mashallah.
2019, when they initiated, for the first ever time when they were participating, they got an award even then. We will be in conversation with them today, ladies and gentlemen. They are definitely the pride of Pakistan, and for everybody who's out there. Ladies and gentlemen, there are a few universities, for example, GK, NUST, you have been to NUST as well, LUMS. I mean, these universities are not
There's also
very
IBA.
easy to get into. This is one thing which I obviously want to share with you all, because all of these people who get into these universities are literally very smart, very intelligent, and they know what they want to do in life. So
Not true.
Shiza was just being modest because, she's actually been a topper in her class as well. Imagine doing the show, and this is something I always appreciate, that she used to do the show, go to university, study, come back, prepare for the show, and then do the show over and over again. And not just that, with that, she was actually kind of
Getting married.
no, getting married by looking after the entire family. And where for a girl, she actually has to look after her family as well, then her husband's family, and then the extended family. So
Well,
kudos to you too as well.
Thank you
A big
so
round
much.
of
A girl's
applause.
got to do what a girl's got
But
to
we're
do.
very lucky that we've actually been joined by a few members of Foxtrot over here in the studios with us, ladies and gentlemen. We're very lucky that we've actually been joined by Miss Iram Iftikhar. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Walaikum assalam. I'm very thankful for you to giving me this opportunity, and we will here be representing Team Foxtrot from GIK.
Wow, wonderful. And it's lovely to have you over here, to be very honest. Such amazing, talented people over here in Pakistan who are the pride of Pakistan and are the future of Pakistan as well. Thank you very much for joining us. Wonderful to have you alongside Miss Iram. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined by somebody who resembles one of my friends who went to GK as well, and his name was Saad. But his name is not Saad. He's a cute guy, very talented, very intelligent, and he's one of the members of Foxtrot as well. Ladies and gentlemen, he happens to be Mr. Bilal Tahir. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Walaikum assalam. Thank you for having us at your show. We are really, this is a great honor for us.
It's
and
our
we're
pleasure.
really glad to be here. And I'm Bilal Tahir. I'm doing currently this is my third year at Ghulam Isa Khan, and I'm enrolled in the faculty of materials engineering.
Materials and?
Material science and engineering.
Material science and engineering. Well, it's wonderful, you know. So we are going to ask you about your discipline as well. What are you doing in G?
Well, I'm doing my mechanical engineering and I'm done with 2 years. 2 down and 2 to go.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
nice.
I mean,
But you
thank
guys-
God that finally we actually come across a lady who's actually picked up on engineering anyways, you know, because ladies do not really do that, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
you know what? And I don't know about your particular institute, but there are a lot of women who do opt for studying and end up being the only one in a strength of 50. Is that the same with you?
Well, not in my case. I have like a total of 6 girls in my class. But I
Oh.
believe that there is no profession that is gender biased. I think if you are interested in something and you have a passion for it, you should definitely choose it as your career. And you should go for it irrespective of what percentage of your gender is actually a part of it.
That is
Wow.
definitely true, and well, I'm proud of that, first of all, that you do realize that. And I'm sure a lot of this has to go back to your family as well. Varna families are usually like, तुमने engineering करके शादी ही करनी है. It's a common sentiment.
Definitely. I think it's basically just the support of my parents and my relatives. I think a lot of people in Pakistan do not support women in engineering or particularly mechanical engineering.
Yeah.
It's a big no. A lot of people say that, what are you going to do ahead of it, or how are you going to go into the
Motor ठीक
professional
करोगी, क्या
career?
करोगी?
Yeah, exactly. Or how are you going to work on plants and
Yeah.
further proceed with your career? So they ask you to do something that you can proceed with further. So I
Right.
think it's all because of my parents that I have chosen this.
Wow, and it's wonderful. And before we actually kind of speak about you guys making UAVs as well, you know, there's just one thing which I wanted to ask, and that is that for all those engineers I have in my life, you know, all my friends, you know, they have this common complaint about their family that every time if there's a bulb which is not working, or if there's a door lock, or there's a motor, you know, the first thing they're going to do is call me up and be like, hey, yaar, please, can you fix that? Does that happen to you guys a
a
lot?
lot of times.
Generator, UPS.
Yes, and then people say that you were electrical, you will be fixing bulbs. You mechanical, you can do the cars.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times they're like, we have an engineer. Why call someone from outside and
True.
ask them to do it and also pay them? You're just doing it for free.
So have you fixed it ever?
I'm not very professional like till
Yeah.
now because I'm just done with 2 years of my engineering. But I am pretty sure that
You give it a try.
yeah.
Did you ever do it?
Yeah, I have the same case for me, and my father is like, we have only one engineer, so why not use him? So like, he's like, "Acha, about this, okay, there's a switch, you know, it's not working, so check this, what is the problem? Okay, this door isn't opening well, so check what is the problem." So yeah, it goes on, you know, then
Yeah.
they really expect, you know, to know everything.
You to know
yeah,
everything.
because you're an engineer, then you must know this,
And
how
then
to
you're
fix
like,
it.
I'm
yes.
not a technician, man, I'm an engineer.
Exactly, I know.
Definitely.
Right, and you know what? So one of my cousins actually studied engineering, the first ever in our in our family actually. And whatever happened, whoever's mobile phone broke, someone would call, Imran bhai, mobile nahi chal raha, please aake theek kar de. He's like, you guys, this is not my job. I build bridges. I can't fix a phone. But here's the thing with, you know, revolution in of course in industry and in terms of technology as well. A lot of the world is actually together moving towards urbanization. How are we impacted by it, and what is urbanization doing to us? Let's take a look at this detailed report. When we come back, we will still be talking about UAVs.
Let's do this.
Growing urban affluence tends to have profound environmental consequences, but the net impact depends heavily on how the transition is managed. The promise of jobs and prosperity, among other factors, pulls people to cities. Half of the global population already lives in cities, and by 2050, 2/3 of the world's population are expected to live in urban areas. But in cities, two of the most pressing problems facing the world today also come together: poverty and environmental degradation. Poor air and water quality, insufficient water availability, waste disposal problems, and high energy consumption are exacerbated by the increasing population density and demands of urban environments. Strong city planning will be essential in managing these and other difficulties as the world's urban areas swell. Intensive urban growth can lead to greater poverty, with local governments unable to provide services for all the people. Concentrated energy use leads to greater greater air pollution with significant impact on human health. Automobile exhaust produces elevated lead levels in urban air. Large volumes of uncollected waste create multiple health hazards. Urban development can magnify pollution, and physical barriers to root growth promote loss of urban tree cover. Animal populations are inhabited by toxic substances, vehicles, and the loss of habitat and food sources.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so that's our take on urbanization, where urbanization can actually bring a lot of opportunities. It has actually got a few of lags as well, and I think that everybody kind of really needs to be careful about it. But other than that, I think it's about time that we're going to focus more on Foxtrot and how they came into being and what competitions they've been a part of. So let's get started. How did you guys come together, make this team where you guys thought about, okay, yeah, we should participate in these worldly competitions where we'll be taking our UAVs, which we built ourselves from scratch, and kind of win and make sure that Pakistan's going to be there, the flag's going to be there?
So basically, this team was started by two of our seniors, Rida and Had. And basically, in the start, we participated in national level competitions called IRDBFC, where we made remote controlled aircraft. But then we decided to further expand our team's horizon and to represent Pakistan on an international level. We decided to participate in the UAS challenge that is held in UK. And for that, we have to build autonomous aircraft that are completely do not require any remote controls or human aid.
Wow.
So yes, we've been participating in this challenge for the past 3 years.
Wow, wonderful. So where do you come in, Black?
I am basically now, my position at Team Foxtrot is as the Director of Sponsorship, Audit and Finance. So getting sponsors is my job.
Oh,
so because
that's the main job.
Yeah, I know, right? Because we know we need a lot of funds, to fabricate our plane, because it's really hard, to do anything, as we are all students, so we don't have a salary or anything so that we can put into this team. So we need to get sponsors. So this is where my job comes in. And other than that, I have my involvement in technical teams like automation, SDS, which is the aerial mapping, which we do. We work there on the aerial mapping. And other than that, I work in testing.
Oh, wow, that's great. And we have no doubt in your capabilities, you guys, of course. But now let's make the people understand what you guys are making, what the impact of that is going to be, if we need it in Pakistan, if we need it in the world or not. Which one of you is going to explain actually to the layman what UAVs will do? Because what we understand, it's a drone and it is going to deliver my shoes to my footstep if I order. You know what I mean?
Or aid services for that matter.
Exactly. This is exactly what they do. We build unmanned aircraft. That means it does not require any human to actually function, right? So,
and by aircraft, you mean a quadcopter or a similar thing, or can it actually be a craft?
I mean, and we do have pictures as well. So, Mr. Snan, whenever you're ready with the pictures, please make sure that you share the pictures as well. Yeah, please.
So, unmanned air vehicles include a lot of things: drones, aircrafts, anything that is in air and is unmanned is a UAV. So I think we've been working on this, and when looking at the uses that you just mentioned, there are multiple uses that can be, for example, the agriculture sector, which is a big part of our economy in Pakistan. We can use these aircraft to spray insecticides and pesticides and improve yield by making efficient processes for agriculture. Similarly, they can be used in surveillance in military on national borders. Similarly, for different defense authorities. Also,
they're using it all over the world anyway.
Yes, and they've been used for Uber deliveries. They've been used to deliver COVID vaccines. They've been used to deliver aid packages. Similarly, we've seen in Pakistan every year we've been hit by floods, earthquakes. We go through this every year. We very recently went through it in Islamabad, and there are cases where human aid cannot actually reach these places where people are struck victims. In cases of earthquakes. So these unmanned aircraft can be used to deliver aid packages to places that are inaccessible.
Wow.
Brilliant. And these are, well, you know what, some of the things were on top of my head and she went beyond that. So you explained very well, mashallah. But now here's the thing. Whenever we talk about a human-made machine, for that matter, or any craft for that matter that we're talking about right now, there is always a chance of malfunction. If we're talking about these very sensitive areas of delivering aid or, surveillance for weather or defense surveillance, whatnot, there should be no chance of malfunction. This is what Bilal is going to answer after we share with you this small video, which will explain how their UAVs work. Let's do it.
GIK is known in the world for setting a standard of excellence in the field of engineering. Team Foxtrot was formed by the students of Ghulam Ishaq Khan Institute with the passion of making great unmanned aerial vehicles and with the intention of representing Pakistan and GIK in the international community. Our team competes in IMEKI UAS Challenge in the United Kingdom. An unmanned aerial vehicle (UAV) is an aircraft without a human pilot on board. The UAVs were originally used for missions too dull, dirty, or dangerous for humans. Now their use is rapidly finding many more applications including aerial photography, product deliveries, agriculture, surveillance, and infrastructure inspections. To cater these set of strict guidelines, the UAV must be robust, lightweight, quick, and responsive. To meet these requirements, the team spends a great deal of effort and energy in designing and manufacturing phase.
The automation team that looks after the navigational aspects of the UAV. The design team calculates and creates the best design possible for our UAV. The fabrication team, where the action of manufacturing the UAV takes place. Imagery team. Here we work over the software that makes detection The multimedia and marketing team helps Team Foxtrot reach a wider range of audiences and increase its social reach.
So I guess everybody now understands what Foxtrot has been doing. They're definitely making Pakistan prouder day by day as well. But very quickly, before we actually head out towards a short break, Shiza actually posed a question to you, Bilal, and that too about malfunctions.
Yes. So how our system works is that we have a microcontroller that is PIXOC 4 to be specific. So that is a
What does that mean? I mean,
yes,
I'm
we
just
get
thinking
that.
it's an
PIXOC 4? What does
I
that
get
mean?
that. So you just it is just a brain. The brain of the aircraft. You could say that.
Okay.
It controls each and your motors, your flaps. The one that that controls the
Exactly,
direction
with
of
the
the
wings.
Yep. So they control the wings. Yeah. So they control that. So yeah.
Rudder.
Yep, the flap,
Rudder probably.
rudder
Yeah.
flaps. I don't know. You know about planes, yeah. I'm seeing that. So they control that. So it is the brain of the aircraft. So what is that? Like we program it. So we program it for. It has a GPS attached to it.
Okay.
So we program it.
We're also sharing pictures of you guys working,
Oh
so keep
yes.
speaking.
Yeah, this is basically the imagery department that we work in.
Or late
So,
night.
yeah. Now this is the automation session, which we are like teaching the
Wow.
children. Yeah, this is the plane that we made. This is a
The
trainer.
first prototype
Yeah.
was
And,
it?
and is it
This
like,
is a trainer.
This
Yeah,
is
this
the
a
first
project
time you
year.
participate.
do we have to
2019.
charge it, or is it,
It
or
is
does it
powered
run
by
on
battery,
petrol or
yeah.
fuel or something other than that?
No, the
Looks big, yeah.
yeah, this Project Eurus, this was basically powered by a combustion engine.
All right.
So, but after that, due to the environmental concerns, the IMEKI, they told us that now you have to convert to the
You
electric.
can't use combustion
They were
You
right.
can't use combustion engine. So yes.
Wow.
This is brilliant. Just looking at it makes
So
me
this is
feel
a
so dumb.
fabrication process where we make the plane from scratch.
Wow.
Ah, yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
So you were telling us about the brain of the.
Yeah, so now we
UAV.
program the brain, we program the brain, and then for example, if you're talking about fail safes, for example, these are called fail safes. If something happens, for example, to the
Okay.
aircraft, or if the aircraft loses signal to the ground station, because now aircraft does not know what to do. So although we program it, but the aircraft now loses signal to the ground, and the operator can't see it. So it's really, it's a health risk. So we can't let it, go loose in the sky. So we
Okay.
program it to land to the ground or to land anywhere, to land there.
So
at
even if the
at
UAV,
place, yeah.
so what you're trying to tell is that even if your UAV is going to lose connection with the brain which you had in your hand,
Exactly.
it's still going to land and come back.
And now that is
It's
just
like
an
it looks like a
example.
boomerang to me.
Exactly,
Oh, amazing.
So now it is just an example. Now there are other failures. For example, if you told your aircraft to fly in a specific path, or
Yeah.
you define a region that the aircraft have to fly in this, or it goes beyond that region.
Yeah.
So there may be a buildings or the urban area there.
Exactly.
So you don't want your aircraft to go
population,
there.
anything, yeah.
So now if it breaches that fence, it will land there, or it will land to whatever you tell the aircraft to do. It is all pre-programmed. You don't have to interfere with the remote control or anything.
So does it always work, or have you ever come across a malfunction and then you guys were like, okay, yaar, ye kya ho gaya humse?
Yes, no, this actually happens.
No, hold on to that
Trial and
thought.
error must be happening all the
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
This
yeah, hold-
actually happen.
I want you to hold on to that thought because I want my audiences to be very kind of curative about it and then at the same time inquisitive. So ladies and gentlemen, let's see what happens, God forbid, if the UAV is going to lose connection with their brain within the hand of these amazing students as well. And how do they kind of control things? And God forbid, if it gets out of control, what to do then?
What to
We are
do?
actually going to head out towards a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. 1, 2, 3. Good morning. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. For everybody who just got tuned into PTV World, you watching World this morning alongside my very amazing, very fantastic, very hardworking co-host, Ms. Shiza Hashmi. I happen to be Shahzad Hassan Khan, and we're very lucky to have been joined by the Foxtrot Group all the way from GK University as well, or Ghulam Ishaq Khan. And what they do for a living is they make UAVs. Wow, that's wonderful.
Not even for a living, for passion. Imagine that.
Yeah, for passion. And while we were actually talking about UAVs and how things can actually go wrong, so there was this one question which I posed to Bilan, and it was that, God forbid, did that ever happen to you, that that your airplane, which is airborne, is out of control? And he said yes. So we would love to know that.
So what happened was, like recently, we were auto-tuning. Auto-tune basically we were training our aircraft, like how to, the extreme conditions of wind or something, where we were training our the Pixhawk about that. So what happened was our aircraft, while tuning, it went too far, and we didn't know. We weren't like, okay, where did it go? So so we have to shift it to RC, and then we had to to take it back. So that is just an example of how we we shifted back to RC.
But for something which is not visible in the in the clouds or in the air or in the sky, how would you know that okay yaar wo wahan chala gaya, wahan se wapas leke aana, because you cannot see it?
Yeah,
Signals,
a
what?
Okay. We had a GPS controller, and it plays an integral part
Technology.
in technology, exactly.
You guys, I have to warn you something. Our questions must come off as dumb to you because we really don't know
No,
these
no,
things.
no. We get that. You know, we have whenever we try to explain it to someone, no one knows it. You know, and we had to, and we now get that. You know, everyone does not know it. For example, I know engineering, and you know about hosting, so I don't know about hosting as much as you do.
No, but you guys are doing an amazing job. I really want to get into the details of what your next project will be and everything. But before that, you know where Shazad asked, and we have to, this is a very important fact, where you asked them if there's been any malfunction. These things need to be an entire, I mean, there is an entire degree on how to avoid that, because cyber warfare, ladies and gentlemen, is the new kind. You will not see people face to face with swords anymore, because just sitting at the expense of your sofa, evil-minded people or miscreants for that matter, or even some states for that matter, can ruin the world with just a button, and they will get the benefit of doubt because it was an unmanned automatic weapon, right? So I think this is something which is the new face of war as well, which is why we need to sort of weigh out the pros and cons of all of this as well. Speaking of this, throughout times, whenever there has been a need, technologies have been coming up to save the world in one way or another. Like this is now the warfare back in World War II or the Great War, even if we talk about it. There were other technologies that came into being. Like, can you believe that radio at that matter was a weaponry technology? Why? Because it was giving you all the news, what was happening in the war, among other things. I don't know if you guys have watched Imitation Game. Have you, Shazad?
I haven't.
Okay, I'm going to show you the trailer just so that we can, I mean, just to get you an idea of how even in the World War, things were still being innovated and how that actually saved more than half of the world. Thanks to Alan Turing. Let's take a look at it. Imitation Game.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so after watching the trailer, I remember that I watched this film, and it's a great film as well, and I will suggest it for everybody out there. Please make sure that you watch it as well. But very quickly, you know, because we only have last 10 minutes, we want to kind of, we want you to share your achievements, the achievements of the Foxtrot Group so far. What have you earned, and what are you focusing on in days to come as well?
So basically, we participated, like I told, for the past 3 years. The first time that we participated was in 2019. That was a live event, and we managed to bag the highest new entrant award, which meant that we won the first position in all of the new entrants that year.
Wonderful.
Then similarly, in 2020, we were going according to plan and everything was right in place, but then COVID struck. All the institutions were closed.
Say no more.
Yeah, everyone here has been through it. And the institution got closed. We couldn't really fabricate our plane. Also because we weren't familiar with the online mode and how to communicate through it. We weren't very, we couldn't
You were adapting to the new normal.
Of course, it was new, right?
And we couldn't really perform well in the 2020 competition, and we bagged the 18th position. And the whole event went virtual because obviously there were restrictions.
It was also new for us, you know, because we never knew that this was going to happen, and we were in the process of fabrication of our UAV, and we were
All of a
like,
sudden
okay,
you
we
got
are
to
going
know.
to make it, and we're going to go and fly. And you know, everything just shut down so quickly and so abruptly, and we were like, okay, now what is going to happen? So the adjustment, you know, to the new normal was really hard for us.
And even the morale would have gone down, right?
Yeah, but you know, we worked and you know, we came up, and this year
So
we
back to
adapted
awards
to,
this year, right?
yeah. So back to the wars, exactly, you know. So we worked hard, you know, we managed, and we were ready, you know, to manage our schedule according to the COVID situation, you know, because we knew that would go on to physical, virtual, and so on. So this year, Alhamdulillah, like we managed to win 2 awards and score 5th position in the virtual event, in which a total of 15 teams participated in all over the world.
Wow, that's wonderful. So what's the difference in a virtual and a physical event? What's the difference?
Now, the physical event, in the virtual event, first I'm going to explain you the virtual event. So in the virtual event, basically we work on softwares. So we simulate our plane using softwares. So, but in the physical event is that we have to fabricate a plane ourselves, and you know, we have to go in UK and we have to fly it there. And you know, there are a certain set of restrictions of the challenge, and we have to, you know, comply to them and fly UAV within a restricted time.
So with virtual, what they do is that they test and run your software. Whether your
softwares, and we have a documentation, you know, on all of our design and how we're going to fabricate. We have a documentation on all of that. So this is basically the virtual part.
Exactly, and that's wonderful. And you know, we would love to congratulate that, you know, all of the artwork you guys have been putting in have been recognized by the rest of the world as well, and so are we recognizing it as well. Alhamdulillah. But now I think that there's one very important thing which I need to ask, and that is that, while I was, in my university days as well, there were these similar projects. Somebody was making a car, somebody was making a robotic arm, everybody was making something. But as soon as they graduated, somebody's working for another organization, somebody's working for another organization, and all of that passion which they had was gone and it was just in the air. So, you guys have been working for the last 3 years, alhamdulillah, from 2019 till 2021. And you guys might think at times that, yeah, how do we actually kind of capitalize on this idea and make an industry over here where we're going to make UAVs and sell them to the rest of the world? Because only then it's going to add to our economy. We will be in that list of Pakistan being very technologically advanced and whatnot. Do you have a goal of such sort? Do you guys sit together and talk about this as well, that, okay, we need to move on to the industry part of it now?
We have a great alumni network.
Yeah.
So about the alumni network, we are constantly connected with our alumni. They guide us on the different aspects of the UAVs, because they are now into the industrial market and they know more about the UAVs than us, because we are just students right now.
Okay.
We have we have alumni working at various, the companies that work on UAVs.
All right.
So
But
they are
companies working on UAVs, yes, that's great. But I want, me wanting things, imagine. I want Pakistan to be the regional provider, you know what I mean?
Yes, there are many different countries working on this, and we also have our technical partners with us. They work with us on this team. So, we are working on it. It is basically new in Pakistan as well, this UAV. So it is going to take time. But yes, you're right. We are planning. We look forward that this, the field of UAV is recognized in
Well,
Pakistan on a
Wonderful.
greater
Let's see
level.
what Inam has to say about all of this.
I think definitely now we see that even in Pakistan we are going technologically, we are advancing, and I think everything takes time. Nowadays we've seen other countries around the world using UAVs, and I think very soon in Pakistan we will also see the drones and UAVs being used for different purposes.
But I think that everything comes with a reservation as well, because I have always been very fond of remote control cars and planes, and wherever I go in the rest of the world, I brought down this very micro quadcopter for myself, which actually flips in the air, does all that magic.
Yes.
And then I bought helicopters to myself, and I've always been really crazy about all of these things. And these things do come with a cost as well. So, you go out somewhere, you just make sure that, okay, your helicopter is airborne, and all of a sudden there's this police vehicle which is going to approach you and be like, hey, sir, you cannot, this is no-fly zone and you cannot do that. And similar things did happen to a lot of Pakistanis out there, where there was this one villager who actually made an airplane. He wanted to test and fly it as well, and the police actually took him and kind of, they were like, dude, if you're going to fly the plane, you'll probably be put behind the bars as well. So, such behavior where we do not have adaptability to the neo-technological interventions, or where we are not giving space to people where they can test and try, I don't think that this is actually a good culture. So what do you have to say about it, and how many times you've come across such reservations where you guys were testing your planes and somebody approached you and they were like, hey, you know what, you cannot do it over here, go find another place, or probably do something of that sort as well. So what challenges have you been through?
Well, basically, like you said, a lot of we're not really allowed to fly planes just in the air, and with every technology there are pros and cons of it. There are a lot of people who use these for the wrong reasons, and that's exactly why we're not allowed to fly them very casually around. So I think for that we should definitely beforehand take legal permission and then try and do this, and I think you will get if you explain them well that what your purpose is and you're going for the right reasons.
Wow.
But was this one of your challenges?
No, well, basically GIK is in a area where we have vast grounds.
You have access to it.
Yeah, and we have places where we can fly our planes. So I think we didn't face that, but like you said, a lot of people in Pakistan do face this, and they have to go through.
And that's wonderful. But when too many young brains come together, they at times think about doing things like that. Because just a few days ago, I was actually watching this video on internet where this person actually used a UAV to kind of catch his cheating wife. I mean, because she was being picked up by another guy, and so anybody can use this technology. So this technology actually needs to be in safe hands, anyways. But 40 people from the same university, young brains, you know, you might come across some stupid ideas at times as well, that yaar jahaz udate hain, raat ko kisi ko darate hain, something like that. Let's prank
Privacy
somebody.
issues must also.
Yeah, so have you done that ever?
You know,
Or
like
probably let's fly it over the
we-
girls' hostel.
no,
Definitely
that's too
not.
much. So now, but we, you know, that's right. You do have this mischievous idea, and that is why we have a proper hierarchy in place. You know,
Brilliant.
We have a proper check and balance. We have our team managers, we have our coordinators, we have our directors of different domains to keep a check that this does not happen.
Okay.
Because you know it is about the image of the team, and we can't go on loose and doing this stuff.
Of course, of course. No, you guys are informed. That's why you know how not to misuse it. But there are definitely so many minds out there who are waiting for an opportunity to make the
Yes.
wrong use of it. But thank you so much, you guys. Yeah, Shazad, you have
Yeah, but
something
very
to say?
quickly, you know, towards the end, so, you know, what are you planning for? You know, what are the next competitions you will be participating in? How much cost is involved? And who do you actually have as your sponsors? I think you should also mention
Thank
about
them.
them, because they are truly a pillar of your team as well.
Yes, so about we plan this year we will be participating in the IMAC US challenge.
Okay.
And we are hoping that we go for the physical event this year, and we are really excited that we get
You will
to,
if you're vaccinated. I'll tell you that.
yeah,
That
so
we
I
are.
hope so, and because the Delta variant and all, you know, the air ban restrictions are again coming into place. So we are really hoping that we go to a physical competition, we get to fabricate or plane, inshallah.
Inshallah.
So that is about like our future plan. And other than that, about our sponsors, we have great agriculture sponsors with us, like FFC. Okay, then we have our the partner that provides us with our equipment, Smart Hobby. So and we are looking forward to other ventures with other sponsors and organizations. You know, we are looking forward to be working with other technical partners. And
Going to make you some money as well. But thank you very much, kids, for being up with us.
Thank
It
you
was
so much
wonderful
for
to
having
have
us.
you over here, ladies and gentlemen. Two representatives of the team of Foxtrot as well, all the way from Ghulam Ishaq Khan Institute. Wonderful to be in conversation with them. It feels overwhelming that, you know, that there's these younger generation people who are working towards the prosperity of the country itself.
Absolutely, Shazad. And you know, now that you and I are so old, I feel so relaxed to leave the legacy of our country in these young hands as well. But definitely, Pakistan has a potential that no other country has, and the incumbent government has realized that. And by hook or crook, by any way, actually, they are making sure to provide facilities to the people who know what to make best for Pakistan, like these. So I really hope you guys actually write to the government as well in case you need any help, because they will always be open to it. They want a technology-driven economy, and they'll definitely help you. If you guys have any ideas for them or any suggestions for us to share with you, please let us know on our Facebook page with the name of,
World This Morning.
on Twitter,
World This Morning without a G.
on YouTube.
On YouTube, it's World This Morning.
Yes, and the repeat of this one you can catch at
The fabulous repeat's going to be at 5 past midnight. Till the next time, just look after yourselves, look around everybody you know who might be in need of help. Please make sure that you help them before even they ask. So look after yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. 1, 2, 3. Good morning.
Stay safe.